All right, Mom, tell me about your cucumbers.
Okay. This is a new cucumber setup for me this year. Um, these are my cucumbers. And this trellis was actually a backdrop from somebody who was doing displays at a fair or
It was a
convention
trade
or
show
something.
display.
A trade show, that's right. A trade show display. And I said, "Oh, that would be great for vines,
Hmm.
for something that grows upward." And so we're using it this year for my cucumbers. And so far, they seem to like it. It's only been in here, what, 2 weeks?
Three.
3 weeks?
Yeah.
The cucumbers are doing very well. Um, I have four different types of cucumbers, and one I grew last year, which was the Persian cukes. Um, the other three were recommended to me by a gentleman that lives in Houston, Texas, where it's also hot and humid. And he says that they do very well for him in the Houston heat and humidity. So they are organic seeds, non GMO from the Ukraine. And
All of them?
the three.
Okay.
Three of them. The
Three.
Persian are from Israel, actually, I believe.
Okay.
Persian cukes. Um,
Links in the description.
yes, yes, we will put links. They are doing extremely well so far. They will produce more female flowers than male flowers compared to the regular cucumbers. And as you can see, they are loaded with flowers. And we have some baby cukes already. How adorable, aren't they? um, and, over here, and there are a couple scattered around. Um, but given the size of the plants, I think it's remarkable the amount of flowers that they have on them.
And the leaves don't seem to be as big as the ones we had last year.
They seem to be smaller. Yeah. Um, I know nothing about the growth habit as far as size or whatever, but the cukes that we had last year were huge with great big leaves. I had to keep cutting off the leaves because they were shading the flowers, and they did exceptionally well for the first couple weeks. And then we started getting high temperatures and rain, lots of rain, and high humidity when it wasn't raining. And they couldn't handle it. They could not tolerate it at all. So I'm very interested to see how these plants do this year.
Well, in the heat of the summer, they were okay, but they just stopped flowering. Like they just kind of shut down.
Yes, but they also, I mean, I had them in full sun. They couldn't tolerate the full sun. They kept
Yeah,
wilting.
that's right.
We put a trellis over them. We put shade cloth over them.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, yeah. Uh, they should have been in the shade, and then I know they're not going to produce in the shade. So that's why I looked around for something else to try and plant this year.
Do you remember what it was you planted last year?
I'd have to look up on one of the previous videos because I think we did mention it.
Okay.
Offhand, I can't think of them.
Okay.
I know I had the Persian cukes, which is this one.
You had some English cukes too, didn't you?
There was um, one of them was the Japanese suyo, long suyo.
Okay.
That one did well. I planted that one afterwards when the others were dying. And they had a very nice cucumber as long as you picked it early. Burpless, very few seeds, very nice for an eating cucumber. The ones before that, I couldn't tell you. The Persians did well too, except when the heat and whatnot came. So we'll see what happens this year.
I see you got some fertilizer or something down there.
Yeah, I put some fertilizer on this morning and gave them a soak.
So what's your mix for fertilizer?
Um, hmm, I put together a concoction, which I'm going to have to change because it's awfully expensive for the number of plants that I have. And I don't know how well it's going to work. So I'm going to revise that whole setup. I mean, I could just go and get tomato tone, some organic fertilizer that's already mixed up. But I felt adventurous and I was going to do it all myself. But I may revise that price-wise and the time and to have all of the components. I have to keep it inside in the garage because with the mice and the possums and the raccoons, they just have a field day with anything left outside. And I'm a little worried with this fertilizer because it does have molasses and some horse feed in it, and
Alfalfa.
and alfalfa, and every morning I wake up with bated breath and my fingers crossed as I look out the window to make sure that my pots are still here, because I'm afraid the raccoons and the possums are going to come out and have a party and dig everything up during the night. So,
which they have done in the past when you had like a fish-based fertilizer.
Yes, I cannot use fish emulsion. I cannot use any of the animal products that are good fertilizers. It's just that I have way too much wildlife to deal with that. So I will water these for a couple days and hopefully everything will sink in and the smell will go away and the resident wildlife will say, nothing special, and just move on. So, but that's it. And I have dill. I planted some dill growing with them. I had a couple extra cucumber seeds, so I planted them in. That was just Titus. I had a few extra seeds, so I said, well, okay, I'll just stick them in the ground. I didn't want to hold on to them till next year. And the dill is for not only pest control, but so I can make some pickles. And I have rosemary at either end. So,
Is rosemary for making pickles?
No, the rosemary is for keeping deer away.
Okay.
If they jump the fence and come in.
Right.
So, we mentioned previously that we did not have deer bother us last year, but I don't know about this year. Everyone else in the neighborhood has complained about the deer eating their gardens to the ground. And I felt very blessed last year because they didn't even try coming over our measly 4-foot fence. So, but who knows this year? They could be braver or smarter or more hungry. I don't know. But that's about it. So I don't know how tall they'll get. We'll keep track of it. Certainly not as tall as the ones last year did. But I would just as soon have a smaller, compact plant as long as it's more productive. So we'll see. We still, we have the high temperatures and the heat and humidity yet to come. So
these seem to have way more flowers per plant than before.
Right.
So that's good.
Yes, absolutely. So hopefully we'll be able to make plenty of pickles.